Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is February 3rd, 2022, and we're on episode 441. My name's Adriel.
And I'm Kyle.
And I'm Mo.
And hey, I'm Kelly.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Back again.
Back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle. Ready to start talking about things and
things
about
stuff.
Things and stuff and yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, look at that.
I bet everyone's been doing all kinds of things with guns this week, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I
don't know. Have you?
I've been doing stuff
and things.
Okay, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Mo is where I am, so we both know that we've had some challenges with the cold lately. What about you guys?
This is our last cold day.
Okay.
Come on. For now, it's the
last cold day.
The last week I've been minus 20, minus 30.
Minus 30, yeah, we hit.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow's minus 3, Saturday's 3, Sunday's 5.
You guys suck.
So you're saying you're just gonna roll in? You're gonna roll into spring at this point?
No.
That's my plan. That is my plan.
Okay, got it.
I'm
putting the heavy coats away.
Don't put the heavy
Packing
away.
everything away. I'm done.
Sure.
Okay.
You do that.
I go camping pretty much every May long weekend, and it has snowed on many of those long weekends. It's been completely miserable.
It's only been the last 2 or 3 that I've seen where it hasn't snowed on May long. So
I caught snow in June camping one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've seen snow every month of the year. Living down in Hinton, I've seen snow every month of the year.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What we did in guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now they have the Streamlight ProTac HPL USB flashlight on for $165. So those are those flashlights you can recharge with USB. I like them. I've got one. I've got like headlamps and flashlights now that both charge off USB-C, which is fantastic. Everyone's got like, if you've got an Android phone or whatever, you've got USB-C like fast charging stuff around the house anyways. And now you can just use it for your flashlights and headlamps and that kind of thing. And they have tons of juice and
Isn't it really convenient now?
It's so convenient.
It is. Because everybody has their phones. Everybody generally you can plug it into your car and charge it. You can plug it into a brick and charge it. It's so convenient.
Yeah. Although I will disagree with Adriel on the USB-C. I don't think it's come far enough where USB-C is around so much. I like just the traditional USB or micro.
The micro? Well, why don't I roll into what I did with guns this week? Because I got a couple more USB battery banks, and you're gonna love this one, Kyle. It's got USB-C in
and B. Nice.
Yeah, and the big one. Most of them have the big rectangular one. Yep. This one's 5,000 milliamps, and then I got one that takes like these removable 21700 batteries.
Oh yeah,
and this one just a single C, in and out.
Really.
Don't have to worry about anything. I kind of like this one. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything that really takes USB micro anymore. Most of it's C. I bet you there's a couple devices. I bet you there's a couple of like anything that's like more than 2 years old might have it. Yeah, that kind of thing. But these are neat. I think I'm going to use these for like runs to the range. So if I go to the range, I take my phone. Shouldn't need a battery power bank for just going to the range.
No. Yeah.
But if it's cold, my pansy Korean phone doesn't like the cold. It doesndoesn't like it when it's minus 20, and for some reason it just dies. So I need to keep it on the charger, or else it'll just give up on life. So I'm going to use something like this, just a nice small little battery bank, just to keep it nice and topped up and not suicidal. Is really what my goal is for it. I got some stuff put on a gun for
look at that. You actually have a gun.
I pulled a gun out today. Look at that.
Nice.
I've popped the Citron Z8. This is a 0.75 to 6 magnification scope. At 0.75, there's a lot of barrel you're looking at through this thing. It's taking out most of the, well, not most, like the bottom half is all barrel. You got to crank it up to about 2 before the barrel disappears. And then I've got, I think I showed this on camera before. I didn't show it on the rifle though.
Yeah.
This is the gray birch
jacket or
shroud thing.
Yeah.
No, like the muzzle ends there, and it's just a barrel shroud. It's just straight out there. What's this thing called again? It's got a weird name. Parka muzzle device.
Keep it warm.
Looks cool. Looks really cool. I like the look of it.
Do you? I had other words. I know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look.
It had this on there before, like this.
I know.
And this is a thick piece of steel.
It is. I think it's on there to keep the weight. But anyways, but the shroud. I don't know.
The shroud's actually heavier than the. I thought the shroud would be lighter. It's light, but it's not quite as light as this guy is.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit heavier. A little bit.
So
it's better though.
Yeah. Okay. It's a 22.
You don't like the size? Should it be like 6 inches or so?
Yeah,
Is it too little?
It's too little. I don't know. It's just different. We're 22, anyways.
Yeah. Well, right. The other alternative is to spend $60 and get one of the aluminum, like muzzle brakes that have like all the holes drilled in them, which I think is just completely silly on a 22. I don't really want to run one of these. I just want to put something on there. I'll take that off and I'll put something else on later. I just don't know what it is. Maybe an A2 flash hider. Maybe a tank brake like that JP Enterprises one, that big monster.
Still take that one. Take it out shooting. See how you like it.
Yeah. I got to try to run that scope through its paces for the review on it. Yeah, so I'll do that probably this weekend actually. I've been doing a bunch of maple seed organizing, so talking to different ranges and seeing what they're up to and when they could potentially have us out. And people in Alberta are like, they're finally like, we're going to do stuff. 2022, maple seed and stuff. So that's looking good so far.
That's good.
I signed up for Utreon for Hunting Gear Guy, and maybe I'll get it going for Slamfire next. That was the platform. I think I saw Forgotten Weapons mention it, and Spencer mentioned it as well in his email over to us. So I thought I'd check it out. It looked pretty good. They've got
what type of content
an import from it, and they will import all your videos from YouTube. So I signed up for that, of course.
Sweet.
Yeah. And what else? I am going to be speaking at an event on Sunday put on by the CUSF. They're putting on a webinar, and I'm going to speak.
Are you going to be on that?
I am going to be on that. I'm going to be talking about the gear that every shooter needs, and I'm going to
cool.
I'm going to be doing it from like the perspective of a poor college student, which I was at one point, and talk about kind of the gear where you can cheap out and the gear that you just don't want to cheap out on and just buy once, cry once kind of a thing. Because I don't know. I talked to a lot of guys who in shooting who all their purchases are buy once, cry once. And some of them are like, nah, I think you could have got away with the cheaper one for like many, many years. Whereas I look back at some of my purchases and I think, I had to buy that 5 times. Okay, maybe not that one. Or like I think of my pistols, right? I went through like for 3-gun, I went through MMP, FNS, a Glock, a Shadow, and I stopped at the Shadow. So it's okay. Maybe that's a good place to just start. Just start right there.
Yeah.
But
lots
of, or straight to the 2011. Kyle's over there, just like, but there's more. There's another step you're missing.
Oh no, that wasn't the first one. I went from a 226 to the. Well, no, I had the interim Glock, but I was buying the 2011 at that time.
Okay, yeah. I think anyway, so I'm building a PowerPoint presentation for that, and kind of putting all that stuff together. So that'll be Sunday, and then
okay, cool.
Still getting some house stuff done, and that should be done, and I should be moved in like 3 weeks or so, unless something catastrophically wrong happens, which who knows, that might happen too. How about you, Kelly?
So I did a couple things. I was telling you guys about going fishing with the ladies from the Canadian Sportswomen Society. It was a ton of fun. By the way, it was minus 30. And 3 kilometers out onto Lake Simcoe. And it was freaking cold. But we were in nice warm huts. And we didn't catch a damn thing. So...
No?
Well, I didn't catch a thing. A couple of other ladies.
Did you catch the drunk Drinking like
No, I
big
didn't
boxes of wine out there? No,
I
like the
didn't
other
drink
ladies?
this weekend. I'm on the wagon, unfortunately.
Oh.
But anyways, some of the other ladies caught a couple, but nobody was really catching anything, so we were all in the same boat or same kettle of fish.
Tent, boat, kettle of fish.
So the huts were awesome. They had it was a insulated hut, and yeah, it was nice and toasty.
Looked
warm
swanky. I was watching the
Yeah.
photos and be like, kind of
Mhm.
wish I was there. That looks fun.
Yeah, and we went out on the Bombardiers, those buses. Those were awesome. You know, the big Bombardier ski bus. that they
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yeah, this
Transports.
wasn't so much fishing as it was like driving out in the middle of nowhere, getting in a tent and drinking wine.
No, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Notability was in a tent though, so it was the huts were like sheds, so they were awesome. And then we had cottages that we slept in at night that had furnaces, or not furnaces, fireplaces, etc. You know, kitted out, you know, hot tubs, that sort of stuff. So it was kind of like we roughed it for the weekend. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, that's a really
Hot
roughing
tubs,
it
yeah,
trip. Yeah.
And to throw that in there. Oh yeah, there's cottages, hot tubs, and satellite
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. So it was lots of fun. But I don't typically fish. I haven't fished in a long while, so it was nice to meet. These ladies were serious about fishing, though, so it was great to see them, make some connections with them. I immediately came home on Sunday and went to pick up some fishing equipment for winter, and I'm going out to this weekend to go with the Kincaids and going out ice fishing again. So spent a couple $100 on equipment, and it was really, really awesome. So I wanted to say thank you also to the ladies. Specifically Lori Ann Horst, who is the one of the Canadian Sportswomen's Society founders. She also gave me some stuff to go fishing with as well. I caught the fishing bug again. Anyways, so another hobby. Look at that. And then also I had a meeting this week. So last night we were the ladies from the Canadian University Shooting Federation, the CUSIF Women's Committee. We had a meeting, and we are going to on Tuesday. We're going to be having edition number 2 of the She Shoots podcast, and we're going to have the ladies from the CCFR Women's Committee. Look at that, me, and as well as Tracy, as well as some of the other gunny girls that come on and talk about why it's really important for women to support other women getting into the shooting sports and not to. So obviously, it's a women's podcast, but quite frankly, it is important for women to get into shooting so we can keep the sport alive as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So back in January, I was supposed to be helping out at a club level ATT course. We still do those, by the way, at my club. It got canceled because of the Rona. So I got a message last weekend, and yeah, I'm going to be doing that again. Well, it's been rescheduled for next weekend too. So I'm going to be helping out at that. Bring in my Wrangler because we're going to need a 22 single action revolver. So I volunteered to bring it out. It's going to be awesome. The other thing is, I want to tell everybody about it. I don't know. Do we ever talk about this, Adriel? Do we talk about the challenge targets that we do on the show? I don't think we ever have we?
Maple seed ones?
Yeah.
Not a lot. We probably should bring it up more, because I was just talking to someone on Discord, and they're like, I want to do a postal match kind of a thing. I'm like, oh, well, Maple Seed does this thing once a month. You should just go do that. Yeah.
So I've been posting it everywhere. So if you go over to Project Maple Seed, go over to our discussion page, onto the Instagrams, whatever, there's a picture there. You can download the PDF, but we have a ton of targets. They're fun. Baseline targets, different things, challenge your skills, whatever, and post it at your range. Try it out. It's great. Lots of fun. Especially, there's some really cute, fun targets in there too, but there's some challenging targets too. So we do those once a month, and we're so post them on our discussion page. I thought we should talk about it because people are always looking for really good targets or fun targets too. So,
well, and they all print on just a 8.5 by 11, so you can just print them
exactly.
at home on the printer, and then if you're looking for something to do at the range, you just print a couple out and bring them out. And if you're going to go shooting with someone else, it's a fun way to shoot something together.
Yeah, and also competitive gauge as well. What were you going to say, Mo?
No, it's a good idea. Really good.
So I thought we never talked about it, so I thought we should. And yeah, just the regular, other stuff that I do every week. But anyways, so what about you? I hear you have a Type 81.
Yeah, but I have two stories. I have a bad one and a good one, so I'll get the bad one out of the way.
Okay.
So I had the match on the weekend at the CTM, the local range, and I got another DQ. Yay!
What?
What?
What
Yeah,
happened?
I swept myself.
Oh shit! I mean,
well,
sorry.
my hands are fine. See, I was a sliding window, and they had it with bands, so it was forced. You were forced to hold it open or get your arm in there to keep it open before you brought your hands together. And there were back-to-back ones. So I started from the left. The one on the left, I was fine. And then I got to the next one, and that's when I did. I actually saw myself doing it, and I stopped myself, but then I heard the dreaded stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
The worst things to hear in a match. Anyway, so
those windows, they get everybody. I'm mixed on them. I like the target, but they are so easy to sweep yourself on.
Yeah, when I did it. So I mean, I was one of, I think, 4 people that did it. Not that it makes it better. I was pretty upset about it. And I think I was upset about it up until today. And I was like, I don't even know if I even want to talk about it on the show, but what the hell. So I have to just make it a learning experience for the next one. So I have a match this weekend, so I'll get it.
Okay, where's that
at? Peterborough.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll get that out of my system, but I was pretty disappointed. And that range is a bit of a house, even though it's my local range, it's been a bit of a house of horrors. I never shoot well there. I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know what the situation is. And I started off the first stage and I thought I did pretty well. So I was like, okay, this is good. I'm feeling good. Okay. And then it happened on stage 2 and I'm like, damn it. Anyways, so I'll be ready for the next one. So yeah, the good story is I had ordered the Type 81 3 weeks ago. Yep. And I told you about it's a bit of a strange order because you don't really hear much. So for 2.5 weeks, it was order processing. Then finally, I got the email on the weekend saying that it was shipped, and it already, as of the 26th, it had left Calgary. And then I got it on Tuesday the 2nd, and it was that feeling. So I get the notice from the post office or the mail notice. And it's that one where it says to pick up the next day. And then I go there and I'm always like, I hand it to them and there's that anticipation of, are they actually going to go to the back to grab the box? Or are they going to tell me, no, you have to come back tomorrow? So she went to the back and I'm like, yes. Okay. So I got it. And here it is.
Oh, look at that. Super excited. Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I gave it a quick lube, and then I took it to the range last night, and I'm very happy with it. Like I really like. I know it's personal preference, but I really like this color of wood over the lighter one.
Yeah,
and then the phosphate finish versus the blued version of the other one. So.
That wood finish looks really great. It's nice and glossy.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. Like the look of it, and I was surprised at how light it is because I thought, I guess I had in my head that it'd be a little bit a heavier rifle, right? And I was like, it's pretty light. So
yeah, nice. I think like if anyone remembers back to like the VZ58s and the CZ858s and that kind of thing, they came with like a wood stock set on them that could be affectionately referred to as like beaver barf. It was like this this shit pushed together, and like my buddy actually sanded and finished his, like sanded it so it was like a perfect glossy finish. Still looked like shit. Like that looks good.
Yeah, no,
that looks nice and rich.
Yeah. So I'm like, I finally ordered one and got one after like looking at the orders come through every whatever a couple times a year, and then So
how many mags you got for it?
Just 2. I didn't order any more. Oh, it's so painful at the range to load 5 rounds, but whatever.
Yeah, that big magazine.
It just seems so wrong. It's such a big, beautiful mag, and you're just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay,
that's it.
That's it. How about the rest?
How far did you shoot with it?
Well, I just indoors, so their rifle section is only 50 yards. So. Okay. Yeah, so
Still
I'll have to
function
take it.
well?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
good.
cool.
It was good. So really, that's it. How about you, Kyle?
Well, I had the weekend off, so I actually finished the work on the Gersan.
Yay. Oh, something fell.
Oh,
Not important.
a hat.
He's
So-
like looking.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Oh.
The polishing is probably my favorite part of doing these.
Nice big port.
So,
Wow.
and I gotta say, I'm really happy with the Gersan. I didn't go out and test it because, like we were talking, it was cold.
Yep.
So yeah, we added the oversized charge hand, or not charge handle, bolt release
Yep.
to it. But the two-piece shell catches, like I was talking when I had this in pieces, that you could take a coil or whatever off the two-piece shell catch. And I got looking at it and feeling it, and it's not required. I just smoothed out the face and then did the port opening.
Mhm.
And this thing is butter. I have a couple dummy rounds here, actually.
Oh, look at that.
Just butter. And
Butter.
that's a factory mag tube spring. And anybody who's taken one of these apart knows that they are not like trimmed to the limit. They are probably double length of your tube, and they are not fun.
Well,
I
like
wanted to show this too.
Like I've got mine to 1.5 times the tube length. I think. What do you typically run in yours?
I started
spring.
trimming it longer because of the auto lifter, but normally I would go like 9 inches past my mag tube.
Okay.
So, and like Nordic says to start at 16, and I'd go 9 to 12, and so it's right on the limit. And you're changing out your mag tube spring every year at that. But with the auto lifter, I gotta run it longer, so I run it more like a 16-inch out the end of my extension.
That sounds about where mine is.
Yeah. But I wanted to show this because this is really cool with the two-piece shell catch. Because normally you're hitting your shell drop and just rack them out, and you got shells everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the Gersan, it's so easy that you just hit the back.
Oh.
And you can just
pops
unload them
right
so
out.
nice because of that
Oh.
pivoting. And I've had other two-piece shell catches where you had to grab the front.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, you just push right there and they pop right out.
Cool.
So far, Gersan's seeming even more promising just because how easy it is to get them loading. Like I said, like butter. My first load on it, it just blew me away. I was like, what?
So that's the shotgun you're going to loan me for the lunatic, right?
Actually, it is not, because I don't own this shotgun.
Oh.
It's a buddy of mine. So
All right, fine.
Nice try, Kelly.
I know, right?
who knows? I might have something here. We'll see. I might have something, and I might have. We'll see how the year goes. I might have something even better for you to use.
Sweet.
Kyle, have you thought about I don't know, buying like 10 of those things and then just like outfitting all of them and selling them for some amount more than the parts and labor?
I thought about that with M2s, but that was a huge investment.
The M2s are too much.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking $2,000 just for the shotgun. Like with my M2, I figured it out. For me to build and outfit that gun, you're probably looking about a $3,500 shotgun in the end.
Mm.
The
The
M2.
M2 or the Gersan?
The M2.
Yeah.
My 3-gun shotgun. The Gersan, actually, I hadn't thought of that. It might be something, like you said, worth looking into.
What other alternatives are there right now? There's the M3K, which is $700 or $800. Needs a little bit of work. I would say it's like a good entry level one. What else you got? I guess the Versa Maxes, but
I won't do
Remington
it.
doesn't even make those anymore. And what's the
And
point?
you will not see me sell unless it's. I can't see I won't buy a Versa Max. We'll say that.
Yeah. There's the 1301s, like the Berettas, which are good. And I think
They're good.
TACORD switched over to doing those, but that's like a base $1,500 gun. So
Well,
with
yeah, you're right up there in M2 territory minus a couple $100.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't like the Bredas, right?
No.
The Berettas, and if I can get Taylor to send me his and give it to me for some time, I'll figure it out. But there was a lot of malfunctions, and with that geometry,
on the current version, I guess there's only one, right?
Well, there's two. One's got a port opening and one doesn't.
Oh, okay.
One's got an oversized port opening and one doesn't. I can't remember. I think it's a B12i that has the cutout, and it's really deep. So if you're right-handed and a strong side loader, it is deep. I like the more symmetrical port opening, so it's not made for any one-handed loading. And you saw there, all you need to do is get past that shell catch. You need to be able to just glide past that shell catch. So having it cut down so far, it's not needed. Same thing as extended lifters. Everyone get it, not maybe as big of a thing anymore, but you like an extended lifter used to be, oh, you have to have an extended lifter. I'll run, if it wasn't for the auto lifter, I actually had swapped out my lifter for a factory lifter because someone wanted my extended lifter and I didn't have time to make one. So I said, okay, here, I'll run a factory lifter because all that is just, and if you, it's correcting for bad form, for bad technique, having that, because it's supposed to stop your thumb from getting caught in between your lifter and your shell tube or your magazine tube. Well, if you're loading correctly, your thumb should never be in there. And especially for as far open as I open them, an extended lifter doesn't help at all. So there's a few things that were big things, like just like going with a shorter shotgun. Oh, I want to move around real tight, so the 18.5-inch shotgun. No, go run a 26-inch shotgun. It doesn't matter. The biggest thing is ports, and don't stick your gun through the port. So yeah, but and then after talking with Adam, actually, I would want to check out those shotguns they're carrying and just have a look at them. Just have a look and see, because they're another Turkish shotgun just like the Gersan, and see kind of what's up with them.
Do you know if they're inertial?
If they're he said they were inertia. System? Yeah, Adam said
there's a market for it. If you can get the shotguns for $500-$600, throw like $100 worth of parts on it and $200 worth of time in it, and sell it for $900 to $1,000 as like a worked over 3-gun shotgun that's tuned, that should be easy enough, and there should be like room for profit in there.
Well, exactly. Like that Gersan, it's got $50 my sell point for the oversized bolt release. That's the only part. The rest of it's labor.
Extension tube. You need to.
You need an extension tube, and yeah.
And then that might be it. They come with 5 chokes. I was just looking at them Cabela's there. It's like, oh, it comes with 5 chokes. All
perfect. Right. You're good. Yeah.
Let me know when I can order from Hef's Custom Shop.
Hef's Custom Guns.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thought, Adriel. I'll give it some thought and have a look around, and because there's the Gersans for, what are they, like $500?
$500.
I could do the work and turn around, sell them. Like, I just ballpark, I'd probably be, I'm gonna say 900 with. Well, if it's magazine too, it'd probably be about $1,000 shotgun. Yeah,
there's still room. Like, you wouldn't want to compete with the 1301s or anything like that at like 1,500, but I think at $1,000 with like the quality of work and port and that kind of thing, and the ease of loading, the 1301s are good, but they're like the loading port still needs to be worked out on them, and the shell catch is still catchy.
And they're a deep receiver, so you have to take away so many, and you have to move the
serial
number. I see that, Andrew. I will actually bring it up on camera again here in a second. But yeah, the 1301s you have to move the serial number, which is actually really easy. I actually got a letter from the RCMP number of years ago when the first one come across my bench and saying, yeah, you can move it. Recommend you take pictures of it moved with the factory one in there. But yeah, no, you can absolutely move them, as long as basically, I think it works out. You need to be able to catch it with your fingernail and feel it. And it's got to be so big. Like, can't have a microscope to.
Yeah. Standard stamp test and just beat it into the receiver and you're good to go. Right.
Yeah. So, but Andrew was asking about the work. So I'll show again and see how that shows up on this camera. So give you a side profile. Nice. And so there is your follower. Your follower's right there.
Wow.
And you can see right there the ledge, just right there, the ledge for the shell catch. So way I do it is right at the valley here. That's at the end of your shell catch. That's where your shell actually catches. So we can actually put a dummy round in there, and you can see that's right at that valley there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very accessible.
Yep. And that's so that you can get in past the shell catch and keep going. And factory lifter.
Yep.
It's hard because this whole gun is all black and just really super polished up. Like I said, I probably spend twice as much time polishing as I do actually doing the cuts.
Yeah.
And because I go up to like 1,500 grit sandpaper, and then I got a 4-step polishing compound that I do. I love doing it and being able to see my face afterwards.
I stop at 4, and I spend very little at 400. Most of my work is done at 200. There's still scratches, whatever. Just gonna add more.
Yeah, and for Andrew, all I did was on, especially the 2-piece shell catches. What I do for a 1-piece is different, but for the 2-piece, on the edge of that catch, it's almost got like an outcrop on the end of it that the rim of your shell likes to catch on. So I literally just smooth that out so it just glides past. A little bit of a cutout. I was telling actually Adriel about this. I wonder if you can see in there. That's what I was talking about, grinding out on the opposite side of the yeah, it's hard with these cameras. Let's try this camera.
He's trying to talk.
Yeah,
and I was covering the mic, and that's not going to work. So
you know what might work?
We'll take some pictures.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Pictures. I'll add it to the show notes.
Yeah, I was thinking
guns.
Yeah, I'll take some pictures. So
nice.
I will be getting out to the range and testing that with all the loads here this weekend because it'll be nice this weekend. So I'm actually gonna get someone to run camera for me, I think, or just set up a tripod and actually do a little bit of a video on it, testing the different loads and whatnot.
Perfect.
GoPro as well.
GoPro.
Yeah. Other than that, I did buy a new gun yesterday.
What'd you buy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it yet, but
okay. Well, what'd you buy?
WK.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I bought a WK 180. Nope. No, I want it now. I don't want to wait for it in April. So I'm trying to get ready for potentially going down to Arizona at the end of March. So the Gen 2 didn't work because even if it was in here in time for the trip, I wouldn't have it on my Form 6 in time.
Right. Yeah.
So, and yeah, so I was on CGN and found a good deal on just a standard WK 180.
Sure.
Said it supposedly had barely 500 rounds, and I just kind of want to see people's opinion because I have a picture. He sent me a picture of the bolt face, and to me, this don't look like
how early the generation is it?
Like that doesn't look like 500 rounds. To me.
No, it looks like 1,000 or so.
Yeah, like with the piston mark and that. But I mean, I'm gonna be changing out a lot on it. I've already got a bunch of go fast stuff. Yeah.
Are ready for it?
Ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I ordered some stuff from True North Arms. Oversized magwell. I saw they have an oversized magwell, so I ordered that. Yep. The self-lubricating bushing for the piston through the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Their anti-lock pins, and then their accuracy spring or whatever that is. Just
it's not
trigger.
Timmy.
Yeah. Okay.
Kelvin Elite.
Which one?
Kelvin Elite. I already did it. I did it last.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
It sounds like you were listening to.
Just gonna pull your Dremel out.
Yeah. This time I'm actually gonna Dremel the receiver because I left it in the one I was boring last year. I actually left it in the gun, and they were just gonna give me a brand new Kelvin Elite. So this time I'll Dremel the receiver instead of cutting off my adjustment bars on the trigger because I'll own this one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be ordering new handguard, buttstock, even though this one comes with a Magpul buttstock and hand grip. Probably going smoke composites, so it'll be all carbon fiber.
Nice.
All the carbon fiber.
It'll be nice.
Fancy.
Yeah. So it will be go fast parts. That's the thing. I haven't seen too many people actually go fast a WK. Like I haven't even, like the magwells. I haven't seen anybody run one of these magwells.
No.
I haven't seen
And I don't know why. Doug's asking where I'm going to get the bolt handle. I'm actually kicking myself right now because I had a Spectre Ballistics one that I got as a door prize at Chaz last year. But I actually gave that to DJ on the WK he loaned me last year, and now they're out of stock.
Come to another Chaz match. We'll probably be giving some away.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're working on another generation of them, but I might message Tyson and see if I can get one of the first ones off the line. I don't know. I want a green one. I want to go green.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, I'd start matching my shotguns. So.
Okay.
I'm sure they got some hanging around.
Yeah. And other than that, what other go fast parts or improvements to these?
Bolt hold open, the lever. So from factory, you got to stick your finger up into the magwell and then pull the bolt back to keep the lock open. Can't do it if you get a double feed. So you need that external bolt hold open so you can pull the bolt back, lock it open, and then rip your mag out.
You know, and I was looking at them, and I don't use it to release my bolt because I just
it's not in the right spot.
And I didn't even think of that. Crap.
Kodiak's got one for $50.
Okay.
Or so. And that's the one I would get. The one I have is the RWS, but the Kodiak one's cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's all I would use it for. It's not in the right place to drop the bolt, but it is in the right place for a double feed.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen the TNA one, but I mean it's nice, but I don't need it for releasing the bolt. So, but
just in case of a double feed. I don't think I've had a double feed with mine, but I guess you could use it. Yeah.
I've had it using polymer mags on a barricade where you're pressing your mag up against the barricade. But I haven't had that problem with the metal mags. Yeah. Metal mags you can push up against a barricade and it doesn't do that. But
yeah. So like fixing the double feed, or even just like locking it back at the end of the stage. You can do the other way. You can like poke a finger up the magwell, but then like you're getting like carbon and like grease and junk all over your finger, or you can just pull it back, put it off.
Yeah.
Does everyone on SFR now own a 180 of some sort? No, I don't think Mo has one.
I don't have one, no.
Everybody who doesn't have one, raise your hand.
I don't have one in my possession.
You bought
everyone
one.
who doesn't have a Type 81, raise your hand.
Aha! Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to buy a WK at some point, I guess.
You know how this works, right?
It's
everybody pressures everybody else into buying the same gun.
I know.
Yeah, I was just happy I got the deal I got on mine.
That's good.
Yeah, because it was a good savings. We'll say that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna go shoot at the range, but we're also doing a work bee at the range this weekend to work on the wall.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's
cool.
That's it for me.
Awesome.
That's good.
All right. Upcoming events sponsored by Telos Alpha. Telos Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at telosalpha.com. Events, we've got the Lunatic Tactical Shotgun Mania Challenge, August 26th to 28th. Details are on Practice Score. It's going to be a bunch of drunk people and shotguns and hooting and hollering. I'd be involved.
Meat sweats.
Meat sweats.
Oh, that's
Ruger Wrangler aficionado circles.
We're gonna have a round table. It'll be good. It'll be nice.
Well, we were talking about doing a podcast out there, and I got some ideas.
Okay.
I got some ideas.
Matching cowboy outfits. And
with the chaps and everything.
Whoa. Hold on there. Hold on there, Sally. Wait.
We're wearing Daisy Dukes and cowboy hats and cowboy boots.
I want a cut-off t-shirt right at the middle. right? They're like
Yeah.
everything
That's
underneath
fine.
just
Oh,
hanging
God.
out.
Yeah,
Mm.
crop top. Yeah.
We'll work on
I'm
that.
out.
I know
I'm
people.
out.
Ladies, stay home. Yeah, don't bring your wife. She won't be your wife
I'm
at the end
gonna
of the
be
day.
busy that weekend.
People would pay to see that.
All right. Two-gun winter brutality night shoot at Quesnel, BC, March 5th. Details on practice score. And then full auto, which is a PH and then an OTTO. 4-stage pistol match at Colby Shooting Club in Waterloo, Ontario. I don't have a date on that one. Register on practice score, though.
That was March 5th. Sorry.
March 5th. March 5th.
That's
Perfect.
my screw up. Yeah.
All right. Ladies' days. Hey, COVID's almost coming to an end. I don't know if you've heard, but it's almost over. If you want to do a ladies' day at your range, contact Kelly. Kelly is the CCFR Women's Division lady, and if you want to get a full kit on how to launch one of those things and run it and all the things pre-thought out, just contact Kelly at slamfireradio@gmail.com, and she will help you put on a CCFR Women's Day. Ladies' Day.
Ladies say, You're right. We've done everything for you. You don't really have to think about anything, do you?
You just need to follow the thing. The thing's got like all the stuff you need to think about.
Yeah. So
follow
the thing. I had some people not follow the thing and that I've gone to, and they're going, like, we're not going to do it that way. I said, okay. And then I'm going, no, you're going to do it that way.
Well, I mean, you get to the event and you're like, boy, it would be nice if we had this thing. Yeah, it was in the sheet. We didn't do it. Oh, we should.
Yeah. No. Anyways.
Follow the sheet. The sheet's got all the things in it.
All the things.
Yeah.
Only done it a couple of times. Just, anyways.
Follow the thing for all the things.
Correct. Now adapt it for your range. But
I mean, most people don't run a lot of events. Most people are not event coordinators. So if you're not an event coordinator, even if you are an event coordinator, a shooting event at a range is a little bit different.
Yeah.
This thing has all the stuff you need it to do event coordination, even if you haven't done event coordination
correct.
before.
So we specifically made one for the ladies division, ladies days, but you can use it for anything. You can use it for youth, or you can use it for new shooters, anything.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, that actually reminds me.
What?
We got news that we got awarded a match there this week. We get Western Canadian Championships for Sporting Clays.
Very nice. That's awesome.
So yeah, we're hosting that at the beginning of August.
Okay.
First weekend. So,
nice.
Yeah, that was something exciting. It's shaping up to be a good year at Wapiti.
When's Lunatic?
End of August, 26th to 28th.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good.
All right.
No, we have a board with all our dates there. So.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, onto the news. The first one here, document reveals why Toronto police searched home of renowned gunsmith killed in raid. So the CBC looks like they used an ITO, which is kind of like an ATIP, to get the search warrant approved by the judge to go after Katenko.
Yeah.
It's quite long and involved. I think I'll just kind of touch on a couple of things. He owned Dark International Trading, which does some like custom guns and that kind of thing, as well as RK Customs guns. There was someone who was pulled over by the police, and it was a Noriko 1911 A1 with a destroyed serial number on it. Mm-hmm. And they said it looked like it was milled. It was milled off the serial number, which is a little bit odd, because they were saying that they recovered the serial number of the two guns, which were RKC 004 and RKC 014 off of it. But like, why would you engrave your own special serial number on a lower that you were going to then mill off and then sell to the crooks?
That
seems odd.
So he had specifically a group. He had a number. Specifically, he had a bunch of guns. The numbers that they gave him, and yeah, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all, actually, when I was reading through it. But
I mean, there's a couple possibilities. Like,
and there was two guns that were recovered at separate times.
Yes,
both with the mill. Yeah. So
yeah, they didn't mention if they recovered or failed to recover any at his location there. like, okay, if number 4 and number 14 show up in criminals' hands, what happened to like 5 through 13, right? You'd expect to see that those are gone. Maybe, I don't know. It's not really worth guessing at, I guess. We'll have to wait, I guess.
Yeah.
More to come.
Yeah.
Yep.
CCFR legal donations. Kelly, did you want to go through these?
Sure. So there's Chippewa Trading Post. They donated $500 to the CCFR Legal Fund. If you'd like to help the CCF fund the massive, and I do mean massive, upcoming court battle, it's now more important than ever that you become a member. You can also donate to the legal fund by sending the EMT to finance@firearmsrights.ca. And I think actually the cool sign that HAF has there on his wall, I think that they're doing the draw for the last one. If you would like a cool sign, neon sign for your man cave or your lady lair, go to the website. For every $10 donation that you make, you'll get entered into a draw to win an amazing, and I do mean amazing, neon sign. And that's the last one they're going to do. So get on it.
Oh, really?
Yep. That's it.
Awesome. New Gun Stuff. New Gun Stuff is sponsored by Bolt Action Coffee. They make roast coffee. It's gun themed, and you can find it at boltactioncoffee.com. Use discount code SLAMFIRE, and you'll get a discount.
Yep.
New Gun Stuff. The first one here is the MDT Ground Pod. I think it's GRND Pod. Have you guys seen?
Yeah,
this
I think
one?
I saw it would be in talk. They called it Ground Pod because they have the Sky Pod for their high end one.
I did not realize that. That's a little bit clever. I like it.
Very clever. Very clever.
Yeah. This one was a lot of carbon fiber, a little bit of plastic on it. Looked pretty good. Looked pretty standard. I didn't catch a price on there. Did you see one, Kyle?
No, I don't recall. I was watching a podcast that he was on there last week, and I don't recall the price, but it's significantly less because I know those Sky Pods, they're $600 to $1,000 depending on which one you get. And I think this, I'm not comfortable saying what I think the price was around, but it's significantly cheaper. It's your budget iPod basically, but still MDT quality.
Yeah.
I have a sock full of lima beans that I use still for a rear
Really?
rest.
Lima beans, nice.
Yeah.
I love lima beans.
I was looking at it today. Ryan McLean posted it today, and I was looking at it, and I'm going, it would fit in with a lot of people who are getting into entry-level PRS and help them out with that. So, yeah. Good one. I'd buy it.
Awesome. Yeah. And then the next one here is the Taiga Arms Taiga Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't know whose this is.
I put that in there just because.
Because?
Just because?
Just because.
Well, just wait. It's just interesting.
Pump action. Okay. 18.5. So let's try to guess what's interesting. Fiber optic front sight. Okay, neat. That rear sight's kind of interesting. Okay.
The brake open?
Oh wait, it's foldable.
Yeah.
It's pump action foldable. Oh.
Would you look at that?
I don't know what to think. My initial thought was ugh.
Ew.
But yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well,
but
okay.
it's 26 inches folded length.
I
think is what it was. It was 26 inches folded length, and yeah.
And you don't just get one, because like there's lots of those folding shotguns, those really cheap ones that like they're $200 or $300. They fold in the middle like that, single shot. 7+1 can plug to 2+1. So this is a 7+1 foldable pump shotgun. It folds down to 26 inches.
Is that a U.S. price?
No, that's Canadian.
Okay.
What do they actually sell for? Have they started selling yet?
I think they're no, they're expecting them shortly. I think by April. I think they were saying.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Not expensive.
Yeah. No. But it folds in half.
It's got chokes. It's got mobile chokes.
Yeah, mobile chokes.
Those are cheap. There's lots of those. All those Turk guns use mobile chokes. Okay. Yep. Very interesting.
I like
Very
it.
Interesting.
I like it.
Okay. That's it.
Can never have enough foldable shotguns.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the main topic.
Okay, and for our main topic, we have Adam Patterson from Korth Group on. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Well, to start off with, why don't you tell us a little bit like what you do with Korth and kind of your background on how you got into what you're doing?
Sure. Well, I started working in the firearms industry back in 2008 at a gun shop in Central Ontario while I was finishing up my schooling. And then from there, I jumped into distribution. I worked for a couple different distribution companies and worked with some fairly major brands in the Canadian industry. And now I'm headquartered here at Korth Group, just south of Calgary in Okotoks, Alberta. I handle a lot of our purchasing, all of our marketing, oversee our warranty and service department, assist the sales team where I can, and actively participate in a few aspects of the sport. I know a couple of you from shooting maple seed, dabble in IPSC, dabble in a bit of PRS. We've recently acquired a couple of lines for shotgun shooting, so I'm getting a bit more into that as well. And I think I'm almost 14 years total in the firearms business at this point.
Okay, nice. So yeah, you're definitely not a stranger. What about Korth? Like, I'm sure a lot of people out there know Korth Group. What's that? What is Korth Group?
So Korth is a wholesaler importer of product. We were founded in 1977 by Terry Korth and his dad, Jim Korth. And from there, we initially started as a rep group where we would represent products on behalf of the manufacturer and sell to distribution, sell to dealers. And then back in the early 90s, Leupold approached us to distribute for them. We had been repping Leupold since 77, but I think it was 95, Leupold approached us to take over distribution for Canada. And from that point on, we got more heavily into distribution. And currently we're distributing 20 different vendors to the Canadian marketplace. And that distribution includes national coverage to independent dealers. We sell box stores, chain stores. We've got municipal, provincial, and federal police agencies that we supply product to, as well as multiple branches within the Department of National Defense.
Wow. Okay. It's a lot. Well, I know one reason why we wanted to have you on there is probably every gun owner's bane right now is ammo and supply. And I know you guys deal with Hornady and Ely, I believe Rio as well. So
we're no longer with Rio, but Ely and Hornady for sure.
Okay. And we kind of wanted to see the distributor's insight on what's happening. What's the market looking like right now? What's most popular? What's people's best chances for ammo?
Well, the biggest challenge really has just been the massive surge in buying stateside. As you guys know, anytime you're looking at any social media, it's usually US based. Most of the forums, blogs, everything that we follow as consumers in Canada is heavily influenced by the US. So when COVID first hit, we'd had a 4-year run of very stable but not wild sales. Most of that's because of the US politics. If they have a friendly government, it doesn't influence the buying quite the same as an unfriendly government does stateside. And then we're so subjected to the supply chain concerns from a consumer perspective. If the US shops aren't getting it, consumers aren't getting it, it's unlikely Canadians will. And that tends to feed into a lot of panic buying on both sides of the border and people overcommitting to the product that they want, which leads to back orders at just dealers and back orders for us and back orders to the manufacturer. But COVID's created a really unique situation for everybody involved in that the mining of the raw materials, so lead, copper, brass, and I know those aren't all directly raw materials, but the main components that are used to build ammunition are produced by a few producers. And all of the ammo manufacturers, at least the ones that sell regularly into Canada, secure their manufacturing components from those manufacturers. So when you have a backlog of people not working and freight issues getting product out of the ground and then shipped to the ammo manufacturers, and then freight issues from the ammo manufacturers, distributors to dealers and consumers, it just tends to exacerbate the issue of not enough inventory. There have been huge challenges getting product from overseas. There's only a couple of main powder companies that supply powder to all major manufacturers, and then to all of us that reload as civilian shooters. It's been a real perfect storm of challenge, to be quite honest. That said, there is a bit of a positive side to it. We've been really fortunate. We've continued to receive the same size shipments from Hornady we always have. We get a tractor trailer load fairly regularly in here, and then the product is distributed out to dealers across the country. The biggest challenge that we're seeing is that the average consumer that may not buy more than a couple of boxes at a time when they go to a dealer are walking into retailers, not seeing the ammo that they like, and the next time they do find it, they're going to buy everything they can get their hands on, and that just tends to prolong the catching up of inventory. And we're seeing that nationwide. It's been a real challenge. But again, a positive to that, or the silver lining to all that is those people have their product, and in a lot of cases, the average shooter, and I'm not counting the people on this call because I know lots of you shoot every weekend. The average consumer has what they need, and they're not necessarily going to be looking at the moment. So it does help temper some of that demand. And as that happens on both sides of the border, the manufacturers start to catch up, and we're seeing a little bit more inventory of the most popular products than we have in the last 12 to 18 months.
So what you're saying is don't hoard.
Yeah, well, if you're going to shoot it, go for it. But if it's way more than you would normally need, maybe not necessarily the best idea to hoard ammo.
Okay.
Well, that is interesting that they got your regular shipments, but it was just going that fast. Because I've been in that ammo room, and it was impressive when I was in there before, and there was that much hoarding going on. Yeah, well, and it's just a real challenge because you have delays of product coming into the manufacturer, and then that delays product leaving the manufacturer, coupled with massively surging demand. Whether it's real or not, you never really know, because the dealers will over forecast what they think they need to try and hedge getting any ammunition. And so then us as the distributor, where we're supplying dealers coast to coast, product comes in and we might only receive 20% of our back orders. Mm-hmm. So then we're only able to fill, 20% of the dealer's back orders, which does certainly not help the situation, but there is still product flowing fairly regularly out there to the retailers and consumers.
I have a question about specifically ammo. Now, you guys supply the Ely across the country. There's an upsurge in 22, whether it's from all the different rimfire events and also the pricing as well. Yep. Have you seen that Ely specifically or other ammo? We're just running out of it. We can't keep up with the demand.
Yeah, it's across the board problem. Because again, they're all buying lead from the same few producers of raw lead, and production delays have been a legitimate issue. People have been out of work, they were furloughed, depending on the area. Ely's made in the United Kingdom, and they were hit pretty heavily with COVID and shutdowns and restrictions and all the nonsense that we've been dealing with for almost 3 years now. Mm-hmm. So it's been across the board rimfire. We've seen a huge uptick in Ely demand with the Canadian Rimfire Precision Series, and Ely has been the title sponsor of that initiative for the last few years. Yep. And obviously you're very well versed with what Rick's got going on over there. And Maple Seed's been huge for that too. And there's a bit of a shift. We're seeing everything's so focused on long range, but it's expensive. Building a custom centerfire rifle is a huge amount of money for a lot of people. And so we're seeing a bit of a transition more into the rimfire, where you get the opportunity to participate in long range shooting and build your skill set without the cash outlay. And it's easier to justify buying premium rimfire ammo for that purpose than plinking, bucket of ammo and I don't mean that as a reference to the brand, but just the volume non-precision ammunition may not give you what you want out of your equipment.
No, specifically for the precision rimfire. Yeah, you do want to go with something that's a little, and that's exactly. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Sponsoring. I'm kind of sorry, Kyle. I jumped in here a little bit, but the question came up. But thank you for doing that, because you're a sponsor for. You've sponsored Project Maple Seed. That's where we get all our slings from you guys. Yay!
Well, we're happy to do it, because without folks like you that are taking the time and dedicating your own lives to train other people and educate other people on the sport, we wouldn't have a sport. So it's both. It's appreciated from both sides.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But yeah, specifically Ely, incredible ammo. And if you are going to be doing KRS with rimfire, it's great ammo to use as well. So I'm going to be quiet now, because Kyle has questions for you.
Oh, it's all good, Kelly. I guess maybe a follow-up on the ammo. Have you seen, I know it's been kind of across the board, but have you seen any calibers that have stood out that people just don't want, that you end up with backlog on, or is it truly across the board even?
Well, we had quite a bit of inventory of obscure calibers prior to COVID, and the buying frenzy was really great to clear a lot of that dead inventory out for everybody. It's actually really good for distributors and retailers across the country, because a lot of the old stock has cleared out to consumers and is being used and consumed, which is great. Overall, though, there hasn't really been any one particular caliber that hasn't been popular. Everything is in demand right now because anybody that owns a firearm that they would like to shoot would like to shoot it.
Yeah, they hear ammo shortage and gotta go buy ammo.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I guess another thing on the ammo, and one thing I'm actually really curious, I know you and I talked when it was first announced, but shipping. I know before you guys were using Canpar, and once they announced to stop, you guys were kind of trying to sort stuff out. Take it, you guys have sorted it out. And
yeah, it was a real blow to the entire industry, because so many consumers and even retailers are in what's considered end-of-line areas for delivery. So a lot of the main couriers will not use their own trucks to get to some of those end-of-line remote areas, which you would think would be the Arctic and really, really far north. But Lethbridge, Alberta, which is only 2 hours south of Calgary, is considered an extended area. And so we were unable to ship, ammo to an agency down there because they're considered an extended area delivery zone. Fortunately, though, Canpar's decision to leave that space has been consumed by the other couriers. So there was a bit of a disruption in delivery. We don't do a lot, really, any direct to consumer. It's all direct to dealer, but we do have a lot of dealers that are in rural prairies and rural Eastern Canada. And it was certainly a concerning few weeks until things got settled. And it seems to be pretty good now. There's still a couple of outliers that aren't as easily able to receive product. But the solution on our end is to ship by pallets, and the couriers that handle pallets only are able to deliver to those areas.
Okay, right on. How fast was that sorted out?
6 to 8 weeks, I think it all sort of came together.
Okay, not bad.
yeah, it could have been a lot worse than it was, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to move on to the rest of Korth, and I don't know if you want to give a breakdown on the different lines because you guys kind of do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's kind of been our goal from the beginning. We like to work with companies that want to be partners. Our goal is to have a brand that we can build and create a market for and really grow in Canada. And it's reciprocal, right? We want to do a good job for them. We want them to do a good job for us. We're fortunate. We have a sales team that's scattered across the country, all of which are active users in one form or another with our sport. Many hunters, some hunt around the world every year. Lots of guys that compete. So we're really actively involved with the brands that we sell and educating our dealers, educating consumers in the before times. With Loophole, we would do a traveling road show where we would come in and have their trainers come up from their optics academy and run some training on how to use optics and long range shooting and get people behind some rifles and actually pull some triggers. And it's really beneficial for the brand to have that because a lot of these companies don't have the ability to directly advertise into Canada, speak to the Canadian consumer in the same way that they can in the US because our market is slightly different. So with our product mix, we try to have the best value proposition per category. And that doesn't mean it would only be one product per category, but Loophole gives you a really great value for your money. You can buy more expensive scopes, and it could be argued they're better, they're not. I don't want to get into that, but are you getting 2 or 3 times the product that you're paying for from other brands? And actually, a lot of our brands that we work with are family-run companies. Loophole is currently on its 5th generation. People working at Loophole. Hornady's on its 3rd generation. And some of the smaller brands that we carry, some accessory lines, are family-run companies. And that's really important to us because that's what we are. That's so much of what the Canadian marketplace is. are independent entrepreneurial types that want to build a business for themselves. Now that said, we do have some very high end product that isn't family run, but Proof Research being the candidate there, and Ruger and Marlin is part of the Ruger group, are a great fit because they give you good product that's again a good value to the consumer, and then a few accessories lines that are complementary to the main lines. We do a decoy line, we have a bunch of gun cleaning lines, and all really good product that's very complementary to the main core lines.
Yeah, and to highlight some of those, like the cleaning, there's Cleanse Oil and MTM, Montana Decoy. I saw that just recently that you guys deal Montana Decoy. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're really neat, especially out here because they have so many decoys that are so relevant to Western Canada, and it's been a really good line for us. And the guy that owns it is awesome, so it makes it an easy deal on our end to work with Montana.
Awesome. Actually, we have a question in the chat, and I was actually kind of wondering because with the acquisition of Marlin by Ruger,
yep,
is Ruger making the lever actions now, or are they just Yeah,
they bought all the equipment, they bought all the intellectual property from Marlin, but they're building them all in house. And I'm not sure which of the three, but Ruger has 3 manufacturing facilities in the U.S. that they produce all their firearms in, and they've added the Marlin line to that. To one, I think it's the one in North Carolina, but I'm not sure on that.
Okay, cool. So I noticed they put out the 1895 again.
Yep.
Now is that was redesigned? Like did they tweak that at all, or just?
They did, yeah. They added quite a few tweaks. I won't do it justice to go from memory, but the key things for people are hammer forged barrels. Ruger's barrel manufacturing process is pretty phenomenal for accuracy. They fluted the bolt and nitride coated the bolt, or nickel plated the bolt. Sorry, apologies, it's nickel plated. They thinned up the fore end and a few other minor tweaks to the gun to modernize it a little bit and make it their own.
Oh, nice. Cool. So there you go, Jason. Yeah, Ruger's making the levers now.
They are, yeah, in-house, and they're starting with one model. In the past when Ruger was acquired previously, there were a few quality control issues with the first few batches of guns. And I think they're working really hard to avoid that. They've picked the most popular SKU to start with, and then the plan is to roll out additional models in time. But right now, we've not been given any insight as to what models and when.
Okay. I'd love for them to do the 1895 Dark next.
Yes. And then a bunch of options in pistol caliber.
Yeah.
Rifles would be pretty great too. But we're just having to be patient and excited for whatever Ruger releases next.
Well, it's nice that they're taking their time and just doing one at a time instead of just throwing out a whole mass of stuff, for sure. Yep. Tells you they're taking their time and trying to make sure that they do it right.
Absolutely.
Another one you mentioned is getting into shotguns, and it's what is it, Rite shotguns? Can you tell us a little bit about those? That's a brand I haven't heard of.
Yeah, Rite is a proprietary creator, builder, and shipper of their own shotguns. They're built in Turkey, but they're not third party. A lot of what you see in the marketplace, you guys could do a slam fire model of shotgun if you order enough of them from one of these OEM companies, right? Rite doesn't do that. They design everything in-house. They are inertia-driven semi-autos that have had a few tweaks to them to eliminate challenges to that design. It gets pretty technical, so if you really want to learn more about it, go to retailUSA.com. There's a lot of really good info on some of the features they built into that. But they're available in 3 different configurations for semi-autos and then 1 configuration for pump. They're going to give you, the pump guns are kind of a price point, get somebody into shooting, and then the semi-autos are 3 tiers of just different features and benefits built into them. And so far, we've had a lot of luck with them. They've been shooting really well. People are really happy with them, and they seem to take a real beating, which is good because people are not kind to their shotguns in a duck blind.
Or on a 3-gun match.
Absolutely.
Give us an estimate on what people can expect in store for price point on.
Oh, you'd have to talk to the dealer about that, and I'd hate to misquote.
Fair enough.
Yeah, best to talk to the dealer. I know the Rite Gordian semi-autos are going to be sub $1,000 retail for semi-auto.
Okay, nice. Have to check those out. They're available in country now?
Yep. Yeah, we have quite a few in stock. We have a handful of dealers across the country stocking them. They're available through any independent gun shop that buys from us.
Okay. I guess that brings me to a question. If somebody goes to the Korth website and sees some brands, or I know you guys put product even though you guys don't sell to consumers, if someone sees something that you deal with, how do they go about getting it sent to a dealer or something?
Well, we're currently in the midst of updating and fixing our dealer locator on our website. We had a technical issue and it went down for a couple of months, and we have a few new dealers that have come online. So that should be updated in the next few weeks. And so from there, you can find a dealer that can help you in your area. Or if you can't find it through our website, you can contact us, call the office. We're on Gun Nuts, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. You can just send us a message and we'll be happy to get that information to you.
Okay, awesome. Anything new or exciting this year that people could be looking out for?
Not a whole lot. There's new little bits of new product from most of the brands, but nothing that's going to revolutionize the industry. Mostly because everybody's so far behind in back orders. It's hard to invest time and resources into R&D and releasing new product when you can't keep up to demand for current products. But keep an eye online. SHOT Show being a little bit unique this year, not everything was focused on a SHOT launch. So you're seeing sporadic releases of product from a lot of manufacturers before SHOT, during and after, and NRA shows usually in April. So you'll see a lot of just little bits and pieces of product releasing between now and then.
Okay. Actually, I did come up with another question. You and I talked about it earlier when we spoke, and I'm sure people will have questions because they'll go on a website, say, for example, a Loophole website, see what the selling price is US, and do the conversion and think, oh, I should be able to get it here. And like we talked about it earlier, that it doesn't necessarily work out that way, and maybe fill people in on what the challenges are in that. It's not just a straight conversion on cost.
Well, you rarely, there's a whole variety of factors that come into this. You generally don't exchange dollars at the spot rate. You're going to be at a deficit buying US dollars. There's cost of freight, there's cost of clearing customs, there's cost to pay the premium to ship controlled goods across the border. Pretty much everything that we sell, with the exception of some of the accessory lines, are controlled goods. Firearms components, any ammunition, every optics are all controlled by the U.S. government, and there are costs associated with bringing product across the border. And it is a big challenge for the Canadian marketplace because consumers look at the U.S. retail pricing, and people remember not that long ago when the dollar was par. That's just simply not the case, right? The other issue too for Canadian industry is that you have to hedge against currency fluctuations. So it's really challenging. It's certainly challenging, costly, and consumers, everybody wants the best price they can possibly get, but nobody's looking to other countries to see what retail prices are. They're simply looking at the U.S.
Yeah. No, I wanted to ask that and get that out there because I know I'm guilty of it from time to time. Like, well, why is it so much more to buy it in Canada? And yeah, like there's a lot in there for sure with duties and customs and just getting just
cost of operating
itself.
a business in Canada is massive compared to aspects of the U.S. So we pay more tax. We're heavily persecuted by our government as businesses and individuals as far as what it costs us to live.
I would imagine the cost of just inventorying like all the firearms and making sure that's all in system, and that plays into that as well, because now you have to have everything all logged and documented. And
absolutely,
like you were saying with the controlled products.
Yeah, it's highly regulated on both sides of the border.
Did anyone else have any questions they wanted to ask?
No, not really. It was interesting hearing about some of the changes there. I'm really jazzed about Ruger taking over Marlin's rifles. That's good news.
Yep.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
Yeah, we're Ruger Wrangler fanboys as well. All of us got them recently.
Nice. I can tell you, it's an expensive place to work being here at Korth. just because we have a lot of really great products.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You when you go through your product list, it's quality products. So you guys should be proud of yourself for building that.
Nice.
So, yeah, great company to work with, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, great service.
Great service, great people. I've been dealing with you guys for a number of years now.
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't even think how long it's been since I've been dealing with Korth, but always been good to me, and quality products for sure.
Yep. And giving back to the Canadian sheeting community as well. So thank you for doing that too.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. That's all I have.
Awesome.
Mo,
Nice
did you
and
have
easy.
anything to add?
No, it's just interesting stuff to hear about the reasons behind the ammo shortages and good info.
Well, perfect. Well,
I could actually just quickly throw it out to you on the call. If there's anybody else you'd like to be introduced to or connected with to come on your podcast, just let me know. Happy to connect you with any of our people or anybody that we happen to work with at any of our vendors.
Perfect.
Just let me know.
I'll be
perfect.
reaching out. There's a couple of people. I already know you know them. Anyways,
Our people will be in touch with your people.
And we'll make it happen. That sounds great.
awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Adam. And if you
Thanks for
want
having me.
it was really great info. And for everyone listening, watching, go to it's korthgroup.com, right?
Yep.
You head there, see what brands they deal with, and they do put some product up on the webpage. While you can't buy from the product from the webpage, you can find a dealer close to you and go get your dealer to order it from Korth.
Sounds
So,
great.
thanks again,
guys.
Adam.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks again to Adam for coming on and letting us know about Korth. Have we had any questions show up on Facebook? Well, we've had some about sheepskin assless chaps.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Everyone who wants a Type 97, raise your hand. Actually, I would like to try one of the Gen 3s. I've shot one of the Gen 3s, but haven't done like a full review on one. That would be interesting. I think that's all of them, right? Where are you sourcing your replacement bolt handles for the WK? Yeah, Spectre Ballistics has those better bolts along with the I think it's a 3D printed like knurled thing that they put on the outside for.
I don't think that's 3D printed.
No.
When I had it, I don't think it was, because I looked at the TNA one and I actually would have gotten that, but it was out of stock. But that one is, you're looking at the picture, is definitely 3D printed for the TNA one. But for some reason, maybe it is, but it didn't seem like it was 3D printed when I had it before. But
it's an okay
is.
part to do it, like unless you like smash it. If you smash it, you might actually break it. You're like whack it against something metal, but I don't know. Buy another one, I guess. At that point, or just get into
buy two.
Yeah.
Well, and with the standard thing being with the WKs, I probably will buy two when I buy
The
them.
replacements don't break, so like the originals do. I've never seen one of the replacement ones break. I've seen the original ones break over and over again.
Right.
And the piston rod, so like the gas block, you got to make sure that thing's like torqued down tight and not moving.
Right. Well, that will be once I get my handguard.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Cool.
I got to talk to Doug about something else too, other than the Type 97.
Okay.
Listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as your Norinco firearm needs, such as the Type 81 and Type 97. Probably. I don't know. Check them out at dcgunsmith.ca. Emails. Has anyone seen my lighter? I lost it last week from Hank. You're gonna have to connect this because some people might not have listened to these episodes back to back.
Yeah. So
You need a flashback.
Hank, feel free to stop by. So for those who don't know, that was from my story last week about having some visitors on my property in the middle of the night, and they left behind a lighter for me. And if it is yours, Hank, no, you can't have it back. I'm using it.
That's yours now. Awesome. If you'd like to email the show, send your emails to slamfireradio@gmail.com. If you'd like to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com/slamfireradio, or just search for Slamfire on Patreon like every other normal person would. If you help support the show, we'll send you a patch. We'll send you a patch in the mail. And if you haven't received yours in a month, send us an email. And I'll be at my new place in 3 weeks, so soon I'll be able to send these out again. Shoutouts. Kelly?
Yeah, just the ladies that came out this past week and froze our butts off. Not really, because it was nice and toasty in the huts and in front of the fireplace. Yeah, so just wanted to say thank you for organizing that. Had a great time. Now I'm going to go out and do even more stuff on my weekends. Yay, fishing.
Fishing's
you
fun,
have too
though.
much spare time, so
Yes. But yeah, anyways, I wanted to give a shout out to them. So yeah.
You can't just sit around and read a book or anything, you know?
No, I can't.
That's boring. As long as you're ice fishing with someone else who has an ice fishing tent or shed or something.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to go. So I'm going out with the Kincaids this weekend. They just got a new pop-up tent for ice fishing. So I'm super excited about that because I wasn't excited about going out. Oh, so yeah. When we went out on the weekend, we were all in. The outfitter was really, really good, by the way. But about 100 meters in front of us, there was a group of guys out there with the auger out, no shelter whatsoever. They didn't last long. So just saying.
Not only did they suffer, they didn't catch any fish either.
They didn't catch any fish either.
Just miserable.
Yeah, they were miserable. They didn't last long. It was really cold.
This
the
sucks.
little buddy heater in there, and
yeah.
I don't even think you need it. If you had 4 people in one of those tents, I bet you it would be warm just by virtue of having that many people in there.
Yeah.
But the buddy heater would be nice.
Yeah. It'll be nice and toasty. Just saying.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Cool.
If not, I'll whine and go home.
It's a good plan.
No.
Me, I'd like to thank Adam, not just for coming on the show, but thank him for all his support through the years. You know, they've been pro staff with them pretty much since I got into the sponsorship deal for shooting. So they've been there all along, and they continue to support me. So thank them very much.
Yeah, they've helped support Maple Seed and
they have.
a bunch of other things.
Oh, they
as well.
support the shooting sports like crazy for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Finally, check us out on Gunners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. We're at 3,000.
Almost. We need to get to
3,000.
3,000. If we don't get to 3,000, I didn't. Hey, Hef, did you update us?
I did that one. I did not update. I dropped the ball.
We could be at 3,000. We'll never know.
We're
No,
not
you guys
there
can't
yet.
check right
I
now.
don't think we are.
Probably are. We probably
We're
are.
almost there. So, share, like, subscribe, spread us around.
Smash that
tell your
like
friends
button
about us.
and absolutely
Comment
destroy
below
the like.
and-
Comment below and
The
we'll
more
see you
people,
next
the
week.
more
Do all the
time-
things
yeah,
on all the
okay.
platforms. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be good.
I just look.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. Close, but we're not there yet.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
See ya.